My name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general reading for the star sign in the title below for Mars ingress stroke transit Pisces. Depends what time I get them uploaded, because Mars enters into Pisces today. Now, according to the astrologers, Mars is not particularly all that happy in Pisces, and this is occurring at the same time as Jupiter and Saturn are both turning retrograde this week, and to have that happen for the two of them so close together is a rare event. We've got the Venus square Neptune aspect, which is lasting for at least much of the summer. So there is a lot of energies, challenging energies, and very deep energies, you know, that really enabling you to work into your dreams, look into your own inner sense of right and wrong, and am I in the right place in the universe, and if not, what am I going to do about it? There are oodles of videos on YouTube about the effects of Mars ingress Pisces, so yeah, go and watch one of them if you want to get clued up about it. In the meantime, this is a general reading rules apply. It's an oracle card based reading, but you can, I suppose, ask a question beforehand. Now, there is the same intro on all 12 signs. There'll be a timestamp down below, so you can skip past all of this waffle once you've watched it once, I hope. And do watch more than one. You want to watch your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, and quite possibly, with this sort of reading, your Mars placement out of your birth chart as well. If you don't know what your chart placements are, there's a link down below to get yourself a birth chart. While I'm talking about the links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook group where I post such astrology videos for you to watch, you know, as well as obviously all of these readings. And you can contact me directly through there. It does have an inbox. There's other contact details down there as well, Twitter, Tumblr. Yeah, I think that's it, other than the ask a question. And we're looking at what energies you will get to play with, what topics you will get to look at during the Mars transit of Pisces, which, if I remember correctly, have just suddenly occurred to me, Mars is going retrograde in Pisces, so it's going to be there extra long. This could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing. Given what's been going on so far, it's likely to be a challenging thing, but hopefully in a good way. Okay, let me bring up the cards. So Gemini, if you've not just joined us after the timestamp and you saw your shuffle video overlaid on the intro, then you'll have seen that cards were absolutely diving out to speak to you. I have some here I haven't even looked at. There's some tarot cards under your main energy. But your main energy here is the Devil. Now, if you've watched my readings before, you know that I always like to clarify the Devil with my Demon Possessed Tarot, which I did during the shuffle video because why waste time? And we have the Six of Wands. There's some form of victorious act, but some form of victorious act that has a risk of trapping you or opening up the doorway for a complete change of seasons. Now, it's funny that you get the change of season card, things increasing, things decreasing with spring and autumn, because the North Node's just gone into your sign, and it is astrologically most definitely a change of season going into North Node in Gemini for the next 18 months. Now, we're looking at Mars. We're looking at Mars ingress Pisces, so we're looking at more of a 3-month period than an 18-month period, thankfully. And this isn't necessarily going to be easy for you, but I do want to say that it is like a training zone of preparing going on for you. Something you are being prepared for. Maybe there's maybe there's some act that you take in haste that immediately after you regret it and think, oh sugar, yeah, because that's what you'd say. Oh sugar, what have I done? But I think this is a good thing. I mean, we've got the devil here clarified by the spring and autumn, like I say, the changing the seasons card, Four of Forces, and the Knight of Wands. So your choice is to surge ahead. Simple as that. Surge ahead. There is a mission that is being revealed to you, if you are not already aware of it, that you are preparing for. This period is not that mission. This period is the preparing for the mission, the feeling okay with the mission, the identifying where you're going to go forward. But first, there's stuff from the past, Akashic Library here, to deal with. And I almost, one of the phrases that popped into my head as I was looking at these cards before I started filming was, I was right all along. But I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing. It's almost like there was something that you knew however long ago, days, weeks, months, years, doesn't really matter. It's significant. It's important. And you'd had a certain suspicion about it, and because of circumstance, because of your own will to, what's the phrase, go along to get along, that you had allowed the narrative of somebody else or something else to take over, and you went, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Now that narrative appears to be unraveling here. We have loss clarified by the Akashic Records, Akashic Library. Now, for me, the Akashic Library, it's a card for you to go and do research, but also it's a card of facts being revealed, and having a good source of information at your hand. But either side of it here, we have loss, and at the end of it, just to make it even more happy, happy, joy, joy, we have the Tower. You know, so it's also, I feel like there's some revelation, that some fact that comes out that makes you go, ah, okay, so that means I've lost that then. But what I'm tempted to say is I think you never really had it all along, and you had chained yourself to the idea of having, let's see how, well, I mean, it's a rope there, but same symbolism. You had chained yourself to the idea of having this thing that you didn't have, don't have, never really had. Now, have patience, because this is a time for planning. We have Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. And the wonderful thing with the Pleiades is their sense of fun and their sense of brotherhood. Now, I know astrologically it means disaster, but go into the Pleiadian channelings and you can get really woo-woo with them. But go into the Pleiadian channelings, they have fun, they laugh, they make you think. When I was first introduced to the Pleiadian channelings, way back when, it was a Barbara Marciniak book, which they started with, do not believe a word that we say. The whole point is you read this book disbelieving it. And it did put you in a weird headspace. So I want to say, take that attitude to, certainly to long-term issues that you may have been chained to for a while. Take that attitude of, you know, all this stuff that I've been believing for years and years and years, I'm just going to spend a couple of days not believing any of it. Now, I'm feeling that this is not like a grand, like national narrative or even like a locality narrative. This is personal. This is family narratives, or narratives that you've told yourself for years and years. Because once you break through these chains, I did sneak a peek at these, we have the Magician, the Hierophant, Seven of Wands, so a highly spiritual, active card. Yes, maybe a bit defensive, but I'm not getting that sense of defensiveness. I am getting that sense of the number 7 and literally Harry Potter wands, you know, magic, spirituality, spiritual energies, and the Empress. There is, if you break the chains that bind you, or even, because the other thing I was thinking, now, if any of you are followers of Become a Living God, the Infernal Empire is here and the Infernal Empire is arriving. And that's also a sense I got from here. It's this devil is not there to keep you chained. This devil is there to break those chains, which explains why it was clarified by Six of Wands and victory. So there is some chains that you need to break, whatever they are. And that just opens up so many new facets for you. It brings you the ability to create abundance in your life. It gives you that spiritual... Well, the other thing here is that it is one wand surrounded by six. Now, I'm seeing that one wand in the centre and seen in all directions. Because if you think about it, 6 directions. Left, right, front, back, up, down. But there's also that element of other dimensionality of it. Because that's not really very cubey in its shape, is it? And the one central wand being surrounded by the 4 elements... and 2 other forces. You can call it light and dark, angels and demons, whichever. They often work towards the same agenda one way or another. Don't bash me if you're a follower of the more Christian mythology about demons and other beings, because not all demons that have been labelled as such are demons. And not all angels are nice. And not all things that aren't called demons are not demons, if you know what I mean. Take each being as you find them. They're like people. Less so the angels, because they have no free will. But the other beings, the beings that have free will, take them like you would any other person. They're a person. They may be wonderful. They may be wanting to screw you over and nick your wallet. You have to use your own judgment, you know. So, but you have plenty of that, and you have the spiritual guidance coming in. And if you listen to ways to exercise your power in a spiritual fashion, abundance will result. That nurturing energy. This is a time for you to nurture yourself, and by nurturing yourself, you will be nurturing others. But express your power guided by your spiritual leanings, your spiritual, what feels like the right thing to do. Not just in here, but here, and your belly. We live in a physical world. Listen to your belly. There's a reason your belly is another brain, you know, because it can pick up things that your top brain that's split into the left and right hemispheres doesn't always pick up. And let that demon break those chains. Okay, that wasn't where I expected to be going with that particular card, but hey-ho, moving on. This is a long-term process. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, especially with that, the nurturing thing. The nurturing is not for other people. The nurturing is for you. But by nurturing you, you are nurturing other people. But that's just like a happy byproduct. It's something that will come in useful later. But we have the 10 of Wands here, which is talking about what burdens that you need to pick up. With the wands in this Crystal Power Tarot are signified by the stone garnet, which you'll notice all over my hands. Can you actually see? Oh, that's that one. It's a beautiful stone. I think it's got a lot to do with past. For me, anyway, it's got a lot to do with past life memories. but I think it has got actually a lot to do with revelation of past life memories. But the slogan on the bottom of this Ten of Wands, of this burden that you are picking up, because remember, double mission here, the Buddha prepares, and clarified again by the King of Cups. So this is something that you, it's almost like through this liberation exercise, that's what I'm going to call the reading, something to do with liberation. Through this liberation exercise, you are becoming emotionally okay with what it is you feel is right for you to go ahead and do. Because there is a new beginning coming at the end of all of this, but you will not be alone in it. We've got Sangha with community here, the Eight of Roses. But at the moment, there's certain loyalties. Right, so it says here anyway, I'm jumping about all over the shop, aren't I? I love and care for myself first. And so that's where there is that sense of nurturing yourself, which then nurtures others, because tens are completion. And with it being a wand, with it being garnet, like I said in my last reading, which would have been Taurus, I'm getting full on, oh, it might have been this reading actually. Oh, it was, wasn't it, with this Seven of Wands? I'm getting full on Harry Potter wands again. So there is a completion, but it is to do with things that have been chaining you in this life, which with the Akashic Library being here, may also point out that these are like past life, soul contracts, karmic lessons, blah 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 blah. You've heard all the hippie people. You either know what I'm on about or you don't. You know, there's there's a matter of, there is in the astrology at the moment, there is if you listen to Adrian Elise, there is a point of we can release other people's karma. There is no point working through other people's karma, because we're never going to resolve it. Never. Because it's theirs, not ours. So why work through it? Work through your own stuff. And you are having the opportunity to do this. Towards the end of once Mars goes direct again, I think towards the end, you're going to have a signal that will come through to help you go, okay, that's what I'm doing. Now I need to put my plans into action. There is the lightning bolt here, Eight of Forces, being clarified by the Page of Wands. So again, there's a go to the next level, but he's listening to the birds in the tree above him. He's listening to the wisdom that they are giving him. If you'll excuse me for 1 second, I do think there is somebody at the door. I'll have to remember to edit this bit out. Or maybe not, because they must just be knocking next door or something. I don't know. I couldn't see anyone. Anyway, where was we? Right, so this is a time for patience and processing, because you are not heading onto your mission at the moment. You are liberating yourself. You are surging ahead with a change of seasons. So it may well be started by the action where you think, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. But no, you should, because you are freeing yourself. You are freeing yourself on the urges of more powerful beings than you. In that we can include your higher self. To mature into the Magician, the Hierophant and the Empress all at the same time. You know, that's a hefty chunk of the start of the major arcana. You've also got the Fool here towards the end. Like I said, there's a new beginning. You will be meeting up with like-minded people eventually, possibly towards the end of this Mars period. That's what the Sangha is telling me. But also the Garden is telling me about what you need to preserve and examine, but also listen to the youngsters around you. But at the moment, you are creating or have created or are put into I don't want to use the phrase safe space, a almost refuge or some such, because you need that, because there is conflict going on around you, but it's not something that you necessarily have to pay a great deal of attention to. It is something that you can keep an eye on, but you're doing your own work, because you are freeing yourself, you are liberating yourself. Now, from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, 3 cards from this one, we have loyalty. So like I say, you need to question your loyalties. A lot of those loyalties, you will go, yep, I'm quite happy with that one, but they all need questioning. Remember what I said, do not believe a word you say. Just for a couple of days, look at everything and go, I've believed this for years. Let's just practice for a couple of days not believing it and see what I see. Because with that we have Beleth, who, to me, that's a blessing for the reading. But with wastrels and vagabonds. So it's almost, are you the wastrel or vagabond? Are there people that you are wanting to shift along, that you're finding are wastrels and vagabonds? Or is it more to the point that you are re-evaluating what the definition of wastrel and vagabond is? Having that element of greater freedom, because, and I'll tell you why I'm thinking that from this, because I've got the theme tune in my head from Littlest Hobo. You know, there's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road, that's where I'll always be. You know, I won't sing it because I can't sing. But if you know it at all, you know it's going through your head right now. We have Nithael with rejuvenation, and also with Murmur, who appeared here, notice, on the 6 of Wands, with overthrow of authority. You don't need, and that's another thing that in magical terms that characters like this one will offer you, a complete rejection of people declaring, or forces declaring authority over you. The ritual magician, you're the authority. You're the authority because you've worked through your ego and let go of your ego, I might hasten to add, before people go, oh my God, you're comparing yourself to God, how ego-driven. No, we are little pieces of God, of course we are. And when you get rid of your ego, you can experience that. And then finally, this is lovely, Iabamir. I did say it right yesterday. Alchemy and transformation. Right, let's see what these three. Queen of Scrolls, don't know. Add some. Keep bringing your focus back. Spirit is with you, but keep bringing your focus back. Even in the light of this revelation of loss of something that wasn't true, or of something that, hang on a minute, you were right all along. Keep bringing your focus back. Add some, I am here. And it's focusing your attention on whatever it is that you happen to be focusing your attention on, which for a couple of days should be that do not believe a word I say. You know, 8 of Scrolls, paths unknown. You are being set up. Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? But for some form of task, some form of mission, some form of role. But here is where all of a sudden you've packed heavy. Maybe because of past life stuff. Maybe because of this life stuff. You've packed heavy, but you're going to have to be able to travel light. And so you dump other people's karma. Queen of Scrolls, I'll look this one up, because I don't know. Oh, no, gone straight past her. Yes, this rather fills in everything what I was saying. The Queen of Scrolls is a woman of higher mind whom you may already know or have yet to meet. Her purpose is to help you move through the entryway to a new level of wisdom and understanding. She could be a teacher to you in some way or offer a friendship that could develop into a deeper love. They can also be helpful to you in some project requiring communication. I really want to focus on that. Help you move through the entryway to a new level of wisdom and understanding. That really sums up everything that we were saying so far. So yes, I'm not even going to look up anymore. That's enough. Have patience. This may be a painfully liberating process. Yeah, that'll bring the views in. I'll call it that because everyone wants to know about their painful experiences, don't they? But yes, a very liberating process for you. Again, there's that scroll there. Well, I mean, obviously, Queen of Scrolls. But with the architecture around and her otherworldly nature, I'm led to the thought of the Akashic Library. But she seems just more grounded. It's almost like she's an old thing given new life, which again links with that rejuvenation. This, think on some form of fantasy film. 5 minutes ago, this was a withered old hag, and then one touch of the magic device, or children going, "But we love you," or whatever, you know, and all of a sudden she's a beautiful woman again with ancient secrets that can lead you forward. So there's a lot of challenge here, but there's also a lot of stand witness and think. Cheers.